So, how much do Facebook ads cost? Well, the answer, unfortunately, is it depends. Well, what does it depend on? Facebook ads, like most other online ad platforms, work off of supply and demand. So, it's an auction based process. In addition, the ad is also judged on the quality of the ad itself. Let me step back and explain all of these concepts so you understand how the ads are paid for on Facebook. The first thing that ad price is dependent on is the supply and demand. Every time somebody views a Facebook page in real time, in actually a fraction of a second, a supply of an ad is created. So every time you go to Facebook and hit that newsfeed button, you're creating supply in that Facebook now has an ad impression that it could show to somebody. That supply is then weighed against the demand. How many advertisers want to reach that specific person? So supply and demand is basically about the number of impressions generated on Facebook. The more often more people go to Facebook, the higher the supply is, which would then lower the price. And the demand, the number of advertisers that want to advertise to the specific person you're trying to reach. This is why the more targeted your ads are, the more expensive they may be. For example, if I want to target a woman between 28 and 30 who enjoys cycling, likes yoga, and is in the market for a car, my supply is going to be really small. So I have a really small supply, and the demand could still be rather large because that person also fits into a variety of other demographics. So I typically will pay more. So supply and demand isn't just a function of advertisers and how busy Facebook is. It also can be impacted by things like your targeting choices. This is what determines essentially the price that you will typically pay for your ad. But that's not all. Facebook will look at the bidding system based on the auction. So the way that works is that if 10 different advertisers all want to reach me when I first load Facebook, Facebook will give that impression to the person who's willing to pay the most money. So if there are 3 advertisers who want to advertise to me, one of them's willing to pay 50 cents, one's willing to pay $1, and one's willing to pay $1.50, the advertiser who's willing to pay the most, in this case $1.50, would win the auction. But they wouldn't pay $1.50. They would pay 1 unit higher than the next highest bid. So if one bid was 50 cents, one was $1, and one was $1.50, the person willing to pay $1.50 would win, but they would pay $1.01. So they would pay just above the next highest bid. So in this way, the first factor that determines how much your ad costs is the auction, which again is based on supply and demand, but it's an auction based on how much you're willing to spend. The next thing Facebook may look at is the estimated action rates. What the action rate means is that, let's say I'm looking to only pay if somebody comes to my website and takes an action. Facebook knows that in order to get someone to come to my website and take an action, they may need to show that ad to 10,000 people. So they would take that into account when they price out my specific ad. So if you're paying for anything more than just an impression or just for someone to see your ad, it will also depend on the estimated action rate, what you'll end up paying. Finally, Facebook will look at what's called user value in determining the final price that you pay for an ad. User value can often be estimated through something known as a quality score. It basically is how much do people like your ad. And the reason that this is important is for a few things. First of all, Facebook doesn't want to annoy people too much because they'll spend less time on the platform. So if Facebook shows me all sorts of completely irrelevant ads, what will happen? Over time, I'll spend less time on Facebook. But Facebook is smart and they want to keep me there. So Facebook will try to show me ads that are most relevant to me. If I seem to like your ad based on the signals I send to Facebook, maybe I click the like button, maybe I just stop and spend a little more time with it. I don't give negative feedback. I actually take the action that Facebook wanted. All of these things suggest that it's a good quality ad, and Facebook will prioritize high quality ads because they want users to have a great experience. So when the question comes up, how much do Facebook ads cost? it depends. The price you pay today would probably be different than the price you'll pay tomorrow, even if nothing else changes in the way you're purchasing the ads. What this means is that you typically will set your budget for what you're trying to achieve. So I may say, well, I'm going to set a lifetime budget of $500 that I'm willing to spend this month. So I could set my budget for the lifetime, or I could say, I'm willing to spend $5 a day and I want to spread that out over 5 days. So I can choose to cap my spending either on a daily basis or on a lifetime basis for my ad. And I can also choose the maximum I'm willing to pay for any particular action. So I could say, I'm only willing to spend up to $2 a click, or I'm only willing to spend up to $10 a click, or a dollar. But the reality is you can set maximums in there as well. So unlike going to the store and buying a pair of jeans that have a set price, or buying television ads, which typically have a set price, your price on digital ads, including Facebook, will be variable based on these factors. This is why digital ads are often optimized over time, because there's a lot of factors that we can play with to optimize both the price and the results that we get from our ads.